6-axis
In
robotic
this video,
arm.
it's shown the
It is also
robotic arm, which
open
is called
source, so you can find all
Faze4.
parts and building instructions
And in this
in
video, it's
description.
briefly explain
So main goal was to make
components of
a
it,
clean
electronic
robotic arm.
components, 3D printed components.
All joints used
Also, it's
through a
demonstrated
shaft that
the performance of this robotic arm, and later in this video it's also explained how can we control this robotic arm. And here it's shown the MATLAB program, the robotics toolbox. So by this toolbox we can control this robotic arm. And now the idea of my tutorials is to create the simulator of this robotic arm. So maybe you don't have a 3D printer, or you don't have electronic components or enough money to buy these things, but you still wanna play this robotic arm, so we can create the simulation environment and play with that robotic arm. And maybe later on you will decide to assemble the real one robot. So this project is open sourced, and here we can see the GitHub page of this robotic arm. So for example, it has assembly instruction, here it's explained. So firstly you can print all these elements and then you assemble these things. Here you can see also you can find 3D models here of every part. So I downloaded this file and I assembled this robotic arm with SolidWorks. So now let's move to the developing simulator itself. So I will create also GitHub repository. I give it a name. We'll name it as Faze4 Robotic Arm Simulator. And I will also make it open source, so here it's public, everyone can get access to it. I will add readme file and gitignore file. Here I'll search for Unity. We'll work with the Unity software. So next I click repository, create repository. So about this gitignore file I'll explain a bit later. Currently I need to copy URL and make a local copy on my computer. So I need to open worked software, next file, clone, and here paste URL. It was automatically pasted here. Next we need to select location on our laptop and create name of the folder. Click clone. So next we will see that this location was created. So here we have gitignore file and readme file. Next we'll create the Unity project. I will select this Unity version and we'll work with it. Next I will need to select location. I will select location, just create it, and we'll work with the Unity and MATLAB. So first of all I'll create a Unity project. It will take some time to create it, so currently I explain how can we import this robotic arm to the Unity. Maybe there are some other steps how to import it, but I found just the following steps I will show you. So currently we have assembly file of the SolidWorks, and next we need to open 3D Max software. Next we import SolidWorks file we have. So directly this SolidWorks file we need to open in 3D Max. Click import and wait till it will be loaded. Next we need to click export and select OBJ file. Give it a name and where to save. Next we need to select following settings. Click export and wait some time. Done. Next I will close 3D Max. I don't need it any longer. And I will close SolidWorks. I don't need it any longer. Now I have Unity project created. And now let's take a look at the fork. So now we can see in our local repository that we created Unity project here, and we can see that also local files, number of local files were increased, and we need to upload these files to the GitHub server. But it will be difficult to upload all of these files, around 6,000, so we need to decrease number of these files. So for this procedure we previously created gitignore file. Now we need to move this gitignore file to the Unity project. And we will see here that number of files decreased. So this gitignore file helps us to compress number of files. So we select all of them, click stage, and then we can commit these files. So we can write something like created new Unity project, commit 25 files. Next we go to the all commits and we will see this commit here. But currently we don't have it on the GitHub page. So what we need to do next is to click push here. So now all of the files were uploaded. We can refresh this page and here you'll see that we created new Unity project. Now we'll be able to use this URL to open it on another laptop, for example, and collaborate with someone, for example. So next, let's move to the robot file. Now robots, this OBJ file, I will move to the assets. So here's my robot. Next I drag and drop it to the hierarchy of the project and I will rotate it. And next what we want to make is to separate it to different links. So for example we want to this link rotate around this object. So we have this imported object and we wanna rotate it. Currently it's rotated around this region and it's not really correct because we wanna rotate it around this center. So we need to change the region. So how we can make that? Again, I found only one way is to move this robot to the Blender and change a region. And Blender is a free software, so you can go to the Blender page and download it for Mac or Windows, whatever. So now let's go to the Blender page. Here's how its started page looks like. We click right button on this cube and delete it. Also, I will show the buttons I will click in Blender so it will be more easy for you to understand what I click. So here's my mouse button click, and here's a keyboard button clicks. Above mouse button, below keyboard button. So next I will import the robot file. Desktop robot obj. Or better import just directly this file, show Explorer, and select this file. So click enter and select this robot file. So I will directly work with that file. So I will make changes in Blender, save them, and I will see corresponding changes in Unity. So I wanna change the origin of this file. I will hide this element so it won't distract me, and I will select this one. Next we need to go to the edit mode, and next select here faces, and next we start just marking these parts inside. So I hold shift and click left mouse button, and I need to select all of this origin inside. Next we need to click shift plus S and select this cursor to select it. So now we have cursor in the center, but that's not all. Next we need to go to the object mode and click right button on this object. And here we set origin to 3D cursor. Now we have origin in the center. So I will unhide this element, and next I need to export it. Again, my location, and I won't change this file, and I will show just difference between them, because I don't know why, but with the OBJ files that not really working correctly. So for example, I will hide this robot, and I will import this robot we've just created again. I will rotate it, and we check the origin, and also it's imported as a single file. So let's try to export it as FBX. So I found that FBX works correctly, and here you also can see that it has some camera files, we don't need it, and some light. We can also delete it and export just the robot file. So export it as FBX, and click export. So now we can see that it contains all of the files, and if we select this origin, now it's located in the right place. So we can rotate this element around the center. So I'm just showing it. It's, if, for example, if you have another robot and you wanna work with Unity with it, so you'll get an idea how you can set up regions. So before I shown you the idea how you can import any robot from SolidWorks and set up regions in Blender. And next we'll just import the assets I prepared to the Unity and set up all of the regions again. So you will also find this Unity asset in the description to this video, and I will drag and drop this asset to the Unity. Import all these things, and here we'll have the import scene we will work with. So here we have the robot, and we have not configured regions. So again, I will show it step by step how to set up regions. We need to go to the Blender again, delete this element, and again I will show buttons. I click, and we need to import our FBX file. In this asset, the robot we work with is already FBX format. So I want to open directly this robot, show in Explorer, and copy location to this robot, and import this robot to the Blender. So here it is. Again, I don't need camera, I don't need light, and I will set up regions. For example, base region already in the center, so I skip it and move to another region. So this part is rotated, I need to move a region again to the center. So we did it before. Again, go to the edit mode, faces, and select faces we need. Shift S, cursor to selected, object mode, right click, set a region to 3D cursor. Next part, we hide this element, and set a region here in the center. As this part is rotated, edit mode, Shift S, cursor to selected, object mode, next, this part is rotated, around this part, so currently hide this element and set origin here. Edit mode. For example, here I'll select edges. The origin here. Next. Where's my previous component? Alt-H will show everything. So now, for example, this element will be rotated, so you'll hide this one. And we need a center here. Hide here, here. So I'll hide elements, so it will be more easy for me to operate. This element, edit mode, faces. Center, object mode, right click here. Last element is end effector, so we need a region here in the center to rotate end effector. Pull edges. And select this outer circle. Right click, a region to 3D cursor. So here. So we finished with the regions. We unhide all elements. And we save it as FBX. I will try to save again in my location, and I will try to replace this file. Export FBX. Some elements not in the correct way they saved, so I will just place a new robot. I will copy position of my robot, so here I need to click copy component. Here I need to paste component values, and I will delete my old robot. And here I will unpack prefab completely. Robot. And I will set my previous material is a gray material. So we have the robot is our origins. Why? Where is the origin? Okay, here. I didn't click correct component. So here origin, for example, here origin of our end effector. So now let's locate the. Now we need to separate elements from each other. For example, here we have the base, and we need to group our base components. So we select all of them, and we need to, for example, firstly I will create empty component, name it as base, move it up, and now select components belonging to the base, and I will move them to the base. So for example, now we can hide base components. Next, will I set origin here? I don't really remember. Let's check. No, I didn't set origin here. So, but for example, we have origin in our base. Or let's try to also change origin here and try to save again. Maybe now we won't have any problems with the import. I will hide this component, edit mode, I just select this circle, cursor selected, object mode, right click, okay. Try to export again. FBX, replace this robot. And I will need to delete it and place robot again. Oh, I forgot to paste my robot settings, so I need to first of all copy these locations of my robot, copy component, paste component values, delete it, unpack, let's change name, set material, so now I have those origin here, here, and again let's go first of all create base elements again, base, select our base components, move them here. Currently we don't need them, we can hide them. So next we have origin here, and we want to use this origin. So what we want to make first is to click right button here and create empty. Then we can place it above, and for example name it as joint 1. After that, we firstly move all of the elements above to this region, because as we rotate the region, robot, all of the parts above should rotate as well. So next we wanna separate this element, this joint from here. So firstly, we create again empty component, move it up, and select parts corresponding for joint 2. Not this one. Okay, but select them one by one. This, and this. Move it to this game object, and we can hide it. So next we will operate with the second joint, and it will be rotated about around this region. So again, we need to create a region here. We create empty component, move it up, name it as joint 2, and firstly move everything there. Again, why we moved everything? Because if we rotate here, all of the components above should be rotated as well. But we wanna separate elements because they should be here as a separate joint, so we need to separate elements as well. Here we create empty object, and we wanna select components belonging to the second joint. So let's select them. This to deselect. So we can hold Shift, left mouse button, and deselect them. And move them to this game object. And we can currently hide them. So now we can move to the next joint. Our region here we set up. Again, create empty, move it up, joint 3, enter, firstly all of them here. And we need to separate elements. Create empty object. Select these elements. But not this one inside. So deselect this one inside. So I will hide them, and you will see what you need to hide. Move here, hide. So next we move to this joint. So origin we have here, we need to rotate it around the origin. Again, create empty, joint, rename joint 4, and separate joint 5 from it. Again, create empty here, move it up, select these elements. Move them to the game object. Also this one we need to hide. Next, I will unhide the one component I need. For example, I set origin here, so I also need to create empty component because I have origin here. I need to rotate around this origin, so create empty here and move it down. So now I can hide these elements and move my origin, name it as join 5. First, I move all of the elements here, create empty, separate the end effector from it. So last thing is the origin for the end effector. I created origin here, center here, so create empty. I will name it as the end effector. And I will move my element here. So now let's check what we made. Unhide all of the elements and see how they are rotated. So we have all of our joints. Joint 1. We can rotate left, right. Next, joint 2. Can rotate up, above, up, down. Next, joint 3. Also can rotate. Next, joint 4. Joint 3. Here. Joint 4. Wait, some error. So joint 3 is rotated correctly. Next. Here is my game object. I lost, so I move it down. Here is my, it will be my joint 4. Here it will be joint 5. And here it will be joint 6. Need to move this to here. Let's create empty. Of components here. So let's check. Joint 4. Yeah. here joint 5. Okay, one more time, all again. Joint 1, rotating. Joint 2, rotating. Joint 3, rotating. 4, this one, rotating. Joint 5, rotating. And the effector. Rotating. Okay, good. Finished with the robot. Let's reset this orientation. 90, 0, 0, 0. So finished with the robot. Also I have here the end effector, the grabbing tool, so we can drag and drop it here. And here we have the end effector. It's a bit big, so we need to scale it down, and we can attach it to our robot. It will take some time to adjust, and you can simply use the values. I will move my end effector here. This end effector can be ordered, this grabbing tool can be ordered from the internet, and also it can be printed. You can also find things in the description. So you can use following transformation of the end effector, and now let's attach it to here. And currently just hide this part, and we'll just have this end effector here. And also it has animation, so we can import it. This scene file we can drag and drop to here, and for example, now if we'll try to play, we probably will see the animation of this file. Yeah, you see it's grabbing. Later I will modify this animation file, so we will try to grab elements here. And next, let's just finish with the environment and locate these cubes one above the other, and have a brief introduction to the cubes. Firstly, I will just show you that I added a rigid body component to this cube. so it has some physics. By default it doesn't have. Next I will just copy this value, and I wanna just set up these cubes one above the other. So I have blue cube, I copy component and paste values here. So next I have size of the cube here, and in order to place one above the other, firstly I will place red cube above the blue one. So I need just add my plus here and paste value. Next, green cube, I need to paste this value twice, so plus and again plus, so they will be one above the other. So we finished with the environment, and next we'll consider the programming things, the communication between Unity and MATLAB. How we can control this robot with the MATLAB. So for now I need to save the scene, and also in order to do not lose these files, I will stage them and write commit part1 set up the environment and commit files for the part1 and push them to the server. So now we have these changes here. So that's all for the part1. Thanks for watching.